A warm welcome to all the listeners. Listen to the Blue Horse. Dr.C.K.N. is in conversation with Pooja. I'm sure you'll enjoy this session, and I'm sure it's going to be some food for your thought.
Hey everyone, you're listening to the conversation, The Blue Horse. Hey Blue Horse.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
So, do you know, Doctor, happiness is a positive and pleasant emotion ranging from contentment to intense joy. So, when can one have everlasting happiness?
You want to be happy all the time?
Yeah, that's my question. How can one have everlasting
You
happiness?
cannot be happy all the time. You should try and understand the word happiness, the word happy.
Okay, I'm waiting. Can you explain that?
First of all, you have to understand the word. Language plays a tricky role. You have to be very clear with your communication. Communication is to convey exactly what you want to convey with proper language, right? Make sure the opposite end receives it correctly. So that's the basic level of communication. So if you want to know everlasting happiness, you're asking everlasting happiness. What is that everlasting happiness? This happiness is a funny term. Okay. If you want to know what is the word happiness, you should try and understand the other two words. The second word is joy, right? You must have heard the word joy.
Okay.
And another word is enjoyment. So happy, joy, enjoyment. There are three words. They have specific meanings.
Yes.
Okay. Enjoyment is something, it's more of physical pleasure. Like when you eat a good food, you enjoy your food, right? That's how you speak. I enjoyed my lunch, I enjoyed my breakfast, I enjoyed my ice cream, I enjoyed my juice, right?
It is a personal...
It's physical,
Okay.
not personal, physical. Sex is an enjoyment, okay? I enjoyed my sex with a beautiful girl, whatever. Enjoyment is also, falls with using certain pleasurable instruments. Like I enjoy my guitar, I enjoy playing my guitar, I enjoy playing my violin, I enjoy playing my piano.
You coined this term enjoyment with activities.
It's all physical.
With the activities.
I take an instrument and I play. It's physical.
Yeah.
The skill involved there,
So many
but it's
activities
physical.
are there which makes us feel enjoy.
Then when I buy a new car, I enjoy driving my car. It's physical because I'm using that equipment. Equipment is a car there. When I buy an expensive car, I enjoy driving it, right?
Yeah.
It's all physical enjoyment. Joy is something totally different. Okay. Joy is one. Say suppose you like football so much, you are sitting in a World Cup arena. Your country is playing, and when your soccer team of your country score a goal, you
It's a
jump
joy
and
to watch.
scream, and you enjoy. That is a joy. That you won't remember yourself. You are in some bloody mood
We forget
when your players are doing well. You scream and whatnot. That's joy, absolute joy. Say suppose you are a cricket lover and your team is playing well. When your batsman is scoring sixes and fours, boundaries, that's joy.
So when we completely forget us and
That is joy.
Yeah.
You are witnessing something which you like it. That gives you joy, right? And both enjoyment and joy finally give you happiness.
Oh, okay.
You see how it is connecting there.
Oh,
You understand? Now you know what is happiness, what is joy, and what is enjoyment, right? Now these three terms, these three words are coined in such a way that it has its own specific meaning for it, what I've explained you now. So these happiness or joy or enjoyment are a part of emotions.
okay.
It is something like a part of your cognitive process, a cognitive factor. Cognition is the word which is, coined to brand or bring everything under a concept of cortex and its activity in the brain. All the cognition. It's one of the cognitive factors, but it falls in emotions, right?
Okay.
It's a part of emotion. And emotions are subjected to dilution, right? They dilute after some time. Say, for example, you buy a new car, a very expensive car. You are dreaming to buy that. You work so hard. You collect money and you save it up, whatever, and you achieve, buying that expensive car. It gives you immense happiness, right?
After
It will give
that-
you lots of enjoyment when you drive that car.
Okay.
Because physically you are handling it. The car was, given to you today. You're absolutely enjoying driving that car, which gives you immense happiness, right? And as the day go by, maybe after a few weeks or few months, that enjoyment will not be there anymore. Because you're again and again and again and again and again and again and doing it, right? You got the point?
Yeah.
So I won't say that it becomes boring. The intensity, the degree of enjoyment starts slowly reducing. because you are used to that machine and you are repeatedly doing it. So as the day go by, after a few months, after 6 months, after 1 year, it becomes a normal process, right? Say, you in Europe, they love the Scottish jam, the Norwegian bread, Danish butter, Dutch chocolates, all that kind of thing. So when you eat them as your breakfast every day, you initially enjoy it, then it becomes monotonous. So it doesn't give you happiness anymore. So this car, which you are repeatedly driving it over a span of time, it's not going to be an enjoyment after a certain point of time. Because emotions are subjected to dilution. Tell me.
Every happiness is going to, like, it is a momentum. It gets diluted in a course of time.
Yeah, you get married to a beautiful girl, and after a few months or a few years, she becomes boring, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing her day in and day out. See, there's one aspect in the brain, in your cognition. It is a secondary need. In psychology, there is primary and secondary needs. Primary needs are physiological, secondary needs are psychological. The need for change, right? There's always a need for change. Say, suppose, again, I'll bring a car as an example. If you buy a new car and drive it over a span of few years, it becomes boring. You don't enjoy it anymore. Maybe after 3 years or 4 years, there's so many new models.
Physiological or psychological?
It's both physiological and psychological.
Okay.
You are used to that machine all the time in the world. After 3 years or 4 years, there's so many new models have come with so many new features and so many research and advancement is going on. Sophisticated cars are coming day after day, right? So after some time, this car becomes old. You want another new car. It's a need for change. The brain is going to put a lot of, the thinking process is going to put a lot of pressure on you. It's going to make you think that I must go in for a new car, right? So comparison come into play. All my friends have bought this latest one, that latest one, whatnot, okay? And you want to go for change. So you buy a new car after a few years, right? You junk this car, you sell this car, whatever. And that's going to give you again enjoyment over a span of little time. And then that also after some stage of time factor becomes monotonous. So what is this happiness, joy and enjoyment in a human individual is totally subjective. What gives me happiness may not give you happiness, right? You may be a tennis lover. You would like to go for tennis match. I am a soccer lover. I would like to go for football match, right? So you may like certain programs in your television. I may not like them. I may like certain programs which I would like to watch, right? So all this happiness, this joy, this enjoyment and all these things are subjected to dilution. So they are not permanent. They come there for a particular event or a particular point of it as you aspire. When your desires are met, you feel happy. Some give you joy, some give you enjoyment. These two gives you happiness, right? They are part of emotions. Emotions are subjected to dilution. This is how it goes. But this happiness, joy and enjoyment, these three relative terms, has a huge impact over the human behavior. This is where mankind is driven, right? You know how? You're constantly looking around for happiness. Every human individual, right?
Of course.
You're constantly looking around for happiness. Why? Because every happiness, whatever that things are going to bring you joy and enjoyment and happiness, is going to be subjected to dilution. So you're not happy anymore with that particular part. You're looking around for some other happiness, right? So it has an impact over your behavior, right? What is your behavior? Trying to work hard, trying to analyze, trying to think, what am I to do to make me happy again? Correct?
Yeah.
So you constantly keep working on it. The question you asked was everlasting happiness, right? When can I have everlasting happiness? Everlasting happiness can never be there because this happiness is a part of your emotion subjected to dilution, stays only for a particular period of time, and then it dilutes itself and disappear.
Nowadays, we see that people often use this word called stress and depression. Is it because of the expectations?
You're talking about stress.
Yeah. So is this
stress is something different. It's another part of emotion.
Is it because they don't understand that happiness is not
these days
permanent?
Human beings don't understand anything.
They get stressed. They think that they are getting stressed and depressed. They don't understand the term of happiness. Is this because of that?
No, when you're in stress, happiness doesn't come into play at all. Because something is troubling you, a stress factor is a stronger emotion than happiness. Nothing is going to make you happy if you are in real grief and sorrow. Okay? If you are in real grief, sadness and sorrow, at that time if I'm going to gift you something very expensive, you're not going to give regard to it at all.
What I'm asking you is stress and depression is a result of
Depression
human
is
being
different.
not
Now
understanding.
you have to be very careful with your language. Stress is different, depression is different. Stress is something which you are hardened. There is a pattern of life in which you are involved, wherein you are getting so much of pressure from the environment. Maybe from your family friend, maybe from your work friend, maybe from your financial friend, maybe your expectations are not getting met, you are highly getting disappointed day in and day out, which is going to give you a lot of mental stress. When the mental stress sets in, psychological distortion will set in. It is called the psychological distortion. That means your thinking pattern itself is not going to be clear because you are always brooding on something. So it's not going to allow you to think clear. That's different. Happiness and stress are two opposite ends. Happiness is pleasure. Stress is pain. They are two sides of coins. When there is going to be a lot of stress, a lot of emotional turbulence because of that, you are not going to enjoy anything. Even a good tasty meal, you are not enjoying. You are just eating, that's all. Because your brain is not concentrating on the taste at all. Because your brain is occupied with your stressful thinking. Say you like a fantastic biryani made by someone, and that biryani is given to you when you are in real stressful condition, and it is also lunchtime or dinner time, you are having that. It's an extraordinarily tasty. You are not enjoying it at all. You are just eating for the sake of eating, because your stressful situation at your mental front, at your cognition level, is only occupied there. It is not enjoying the food. It is not giving attention to that food at all. If you're not a person who's capable of keeping your stressful condition away and think that you are an individual without anything now and you're going to enjoy your food. No, you're not concentrating there at all.
So
you are not diverting your thinking to that at all. You're just eating for the sake of eating. If I'm going to turn around after you finish eating, then I'm going to ask you that, did you enjoy this biryani? You say, just I ate it, it was okay. That is just the sake of answering, because you have nothing is registered in your brain.
So,
experiencing that food for the 15 minutes you are eating constantly one plate of biryani, you have not registered it at all. You just ate it for the sake of eating because of your stressful condition.
Okay. What will be the state of a person who does not understand that happiness is not permanent?
See, it is not the question of who doesn't understand happiness. Everybody understands happiness. Everybody knows what it is to be happy. Everybody knows what is joy. Everybody knows what is enjoyment. But your emotional conditions on the other side is going to disturb your happiness, joy and enjoyment all the time. Even the most favorite thing to you in your life is not going to give you joy or enjoyment, because you're in a different world of emotions. The emotions are very tricky, okay? If you carefully analyze it, if you can carefully do the self-reading, which most of us do not know what it is to assess yourself, right? How strong you're going to, realize certain things and then don't give importance to it is what matters. Like, for example, the human mind either goes and grays around the past or imagine about the future and fear, right? It doesn't stay in the presence at all. The past is dead and gone. You cannot go back. The future is not in your hands. So now, if the human mind again is so funny, it can create pleasure. If the personality trait of a person is too good, he is going to think in his thinking process about all the happiness that he has gone through his life. That means through thought, you cultivate pleasure. That's a form of happiness. If the person is too negative and pessimistic, he is going to think of all the bad things what has happened to him in his life in the past. And that's going to put him under a lot of stress, right? You're thinking of all the bad things what has happened to you. So that's going to disturb your day-to-day activity and behavior. The so-called emotion called fear drive an individual crazy. You always fear, I may lose my money, I may lose my house, I may lose my car, I may lose my job, right? So many things, I may lose my wife, I may lose my children, whatever. You start imagining. So the imaginary part of the brain also plays a very huge role in a human behavior, which either make a man unhappy or make a man happy. So where is the question of everlasting happiness here? Everlasting happiness is too difficult to achieve by anybody, because these emotions are subjected to dilution all the time.
It's a fairy tale.
You are happy for a day, you are unhappy the next day. You are unhappy the next whole week, and you are happy for a few hours. So what importance you are going to give in your life with a pattern of thinking that what you have, which you have to clearly assess yourself of your emotions, how much of impact it is having your day-to-day life. For this, you have to really understand the human relationship, right? The human relationship, there's a proverb in English, the blood is thicker, right? The human relationship with your kith and kin is going to play a lot in the area of your emotions. And that's really going to have an impact in your pattern of thinking and also in the pattern of your life. It's going to disturb you a lot if the things are not going correct, right?
Okay.
You imagine your understanding with the people around you and their understanding towards you. It's hardly anything these days. Not only these days, ever since humanity was there. How many husband and wife live with peace and harmony, right? They don't.
Yeah.
That means individuals can never travel together because you are two different entities, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow when the children grow up and then they don't respect you at all, or they're not going to oblige you at all, and that's going to give you lot of, ill feeling. This is going to destroy all your happiness in the world. No joy, no enjoyment can make you happy, right? You can see in a cricket stadium people crying, thinking of their house conditions. They're not enjoying the match, right? Do you know how to keep things aside in your brain? Link or de-link, two things. De-link your thinking process and then stay in presence. Sail along with the time. Stay always in presence. Never bother about the past. Don't care about the future. Staying in presence, enjoying every minute of your life. Give importance to every minute of your life, staying in presence. Enjoy whatever you are doing. Don't do it mechanically. Apply your mind and your brain, your physics, your sensory organs and everything and sail along with the time. Always stay in presence and, really enjoy whatever little that you're doing. If you're taking bath, enjoy your bath. If you're getting dressed, enjoy getting dressed. If you're wearing your footwear, enjoy wearing your footwear. If you're eating food, concentrate with all your sensory organs. Your eyes should look at the food. Your tongue should taste the food, whatever. Stay with the food. Give only importance your both soul and mind, all your physical conditions should in total involve with the action of whatever that you are doing is what is going to make you the best individual on earth. And that is everlasting happiness. Staying in presence, enjoy every part of the events going on in your daily life, involving yourself with every action. Action has to be one in total. Mind, physical conditions and your soul should be attached to that action what you are doing. You will do everything perfectly. And then what values you are going to give towards the materialistic world and the human relationship should be highly balanced. Things should not disturb you at all. If the close person to you is going to betray you, you should know how to take it light, right?
Okay.
If you can do that, and that's not going to impact your cognition, your cognitive factors, so the stress is fully avoided. If anything is giving you stress or frustration or unhappiness, just dilute it within seconds. Do not allow the stress to take over you. You must always be your own master with your thinking pattern. If you can be your own master of your thinking pattern, you will be able to live with everlasting happiness. Thank you.
So I understand that everlasting happiness is a fairy tale entity. So that was so fascinating to hear from you, Blue Horse. Thank you all listeners. Meet you all on another interesting podcast.